Chief Operating Officer, WeChain.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm very glad to be here. Thanks for TrustCon to invite me to present the topic. So what I'm going to talk about today is I think everyone in the room like to see the day that blockchain is adopted by the mass adoption, but it's hard, honestly, because I think there's a challenge for this industry as a whole to get to prove that the blockchain application can create business value. And who will be the better person to do that than the enterprises? Because the enterprises, they are already running the business, they understand what are how the technology can add value to the existing business. So what I'm going to talk about today is why it's important, why the enterprise adoption is important, and how WeChain is actually tackling this challenge. So a lot of people actually talk about, when people talk about enterprise adoption, people talk about enterprise blockchain. So what is enterprise blockchain? I think when people talk about enterprise blockchain, people are usually referring to the applications that running on a permissioned blockchain. And usually it's, the solution is the blockchain as a service-based solution. And usually those solutions are offered by a lot of the internet giants like IBM and AWS. Usually for enterprises, it's an easier way to get into blockchain because those providers are very mature and reputable. But there's also limitations for this kind of solution because on the permissioned blockchain, it's hard to build an open ecosystem. So this is where WeChain come in. And WeChain is trying to, on a public blockchain infrastructure, we're trying to create an ecosystem which involve not just large enterprises, but small startups to large enterprises to use the technology to actually add business value and solve real-world problems. And as an enabler of this ecosystem, we provide all necessary technology, including the protocol itself and the tools and services, which are going to get to that later. So we're trying to build an open ecosystem on the public blockchain infrastructure so the enterprises, small or large businesses, can collaborate with each other because there's no boundaries, there's no trust issue on the public blockchain infrastructure. And ultimately, the business value added through this application will be transferred based on the token economics to the token holders of the public blockchain protocol. So I'm going to talk about a few examples of the enterprise adoption of the blockchain technology, and these examples are actually live application used by enterprises, major enterprises, for their day-to-day business. So first one is recently in China, Walmart China engaged PwC's food safety team to build a food safety traceability solution on top of blockchain, so that their consumers, Walmart consumers, can buy products and simply through scanning a QR code and get information, the whole logistic information about the product on their cell phone. And the consumers in a lot of cities in China, like Shenzhen and Guangzhou, they are already using this. And as a Walmart, they encourage their vendors to integrate this traceability platform. And now they already have 23 product lines on the on this solution, and they are planning to expand to 100 product lines, including like vegetables and food and meat. Another example is also in the supply chain space. DMVGL is one of they have like a history of 150 years. They are the expert in the certification service, professional third-party assurance. They used to actually verify a lot of the food process, producing process and logistic process. They actually put their logo on a lot of the food, say this food is process is verified by DMVGL. Now they actually adding blockchain. They build a blockchain application to basically disrupt their own business model. So they built this application called My Story. They use blockchain combining with their traditional third-party assurance service to basically trace and verify the wine, the top wine in Italy, so that it's going to increase the efficiency of their third-party assurance because their verifier can rely on some of the digital data because the data live on the blockchain, so they lower their cost and also provide a whole new experience for their consumers. And they're doing the same thing, a similar thing in China with one of the household name, Bright Food. Bright Food is a dairy company, and Bright Food and DNVGL, they launched a platform called Bright Code. Bright Code is also it provides some kind of food safety confidence index to the consumer, so the consumer can see the data on the blockchain, which is also verified by DNVGL. And because of that solution, they also involve the insurance company, which is one of the largest insurance company, PICC. So these three companies together, they are providing a whole new solution to the end consumer. And the other one is in Europe. Basically, it's against DNVGL because they actually issue a lot of ISO certificates. So they work with Deloitte as the technology provider to tokenize their ISO certificate as a non-fungible token and also build a wallet, enterprise wallet. So the enterprise who get the certificate will get the certificate in the wallet. They also own the digital copy on the blockchain of that certificate, and they can manage who can access that certificate. The last one is also on the blockchain. A DNVGL, a Tsinghua University, and BYD, they joined together and built this digital carbon ecosystem, which basically encourage individuals to engage in activities that can reduce carbon emission. So the individuals will be rewarded with carbon credits, which is in the token format on the blockchain. So all the carbon credits are actually backed by the activity that reducing carbon emissions. So through all these use cases, there's something in common because all these use cases are running on the WeChain platform, and WeChain, the role of WeChain is WeChain provide the public blockchain protocol, and we provide the smart contract platform, and we are also the blockchain as a service provider, and we're the ecosystem technology enabler. So why all these enterprises choose WeChain? Because when WeChain started, we actually started as not just a public blockchain. We started as also a service provider. So we're doing a lot more than just providing the technology layer. We actually working with consulting companies, and we engage in business development conversations with big enterprises to help them to actually build solutions that work, that actually solve their business problems. So we work with a lot of big enterprises, and we believe that the circle, that application is going to drive the development of technology, because only after you put the technology in use in the real life applications that you can get real feedback how this technology should evolve to the next stage to support even stronger applications. So how we vision our strategy is that as a blockchain, like in the first couple of years, is basically Bitcoin, and after that, when the Ethereum appear, you have smart contract. You can do a lot more things on the blockchain to mimic the business logic. Now we are at the stage that we need to prove the business value of the blockchain application, which is the biggest challenge of the industry as a whole. So everything we do in WeChain and all the capabilities we are trying to build is to tackle that challenge so that the blockchain technology or the industry can move to the next stage. So how we are actually tackling that challenge is that we build a lot of things, a whole technical stack around our blockchain. So it's kind of like the cloud space, right? So now a lot of the enterprises are using public cloud, but when they are choosing the cloud platform, they are not just looking at who provide the best virtual server to me. They are also looking for tools like auto scaling, like network segments, security components. So you need a lot more than just a protocol. So in WeChain, in addition to our blockchain itself, we actually build the IoT capabilities. So the enterprises who wants to build applications on WeChain, they will get our support and they will get our IoT components as well. And as I mentioned, a lot of the blockchain enterprises use blockchain as a service solution to get enterprises on blockchain because that's probably the easiest way to do that because the enterprises doesn't have in-house capabilities to do smart contract developing or other things. So blockchain as a service which provide easy APIs for enterprises is the easiest way to get enterprises on board. So WeChain also has our own blockchain as a service solution, which is called toolchain. Toolchain can be used in different ways. It could be used as an application as a service, or the enterprises can use the APIs to integrate their existing business system. And they can also use toolchain as a whitelist product to offer their own blockchain as a service solution to their own clients. And at the same time, we build different kinds of developer tools so that the independent developers who are the real, who actually developing on the blockchain directly, we also providing different tools for them and also supporting them in different ways to encourage innovation on the blockchain. We also a lot of time introduce business leads because we already have an ecosystem of enterprises. So we also introduce business leads to the startup team who is building applications on the WeChain blockchain. So as I mentioned, the toolchain is kind of a blockchain as a service solution. It's not just a technical layer because we started from supply chain. So the toolchain, we can offer a lot of the ready-to-use components, including mobile app, the web portal, even the hardware. All these things can be customized by our customers for the enterprises to integrate with their existing business or use their own brand. So they don't have to start from scratch. They can focus to realizing their business model. So another important component in this ecosystem is the public blockchain because everything we build is on the public blockchain. So when we design the public blockchain, we also have this mass adoption or enterprise adoption in mind. So we focus a lot of things on the governance model, on the economic model, also adding a lot of business-friendly feature. So for the governance model, we actually kind of use the hybrid governance model, kind of a balance between centralization and decentralization. So that because we feel that at this stage it's probably the most efficient way to do that, but we do have plan to move to the more decentralization manner when the timing is right. And also the economic model, when we design the economic model, we really want to detach the cost of using blockchain with the volatility of the cryptocurrency, because that's one of the major concerns of enterprises using public blockchain solutions. So we design our economic model to make sure that enterprises or developers can have relatively stable cost of using blockchain. They don't have to keep their eyes on the token price every day, every hour. So business-friendly feature, we realize there's a huge barrier for users to use like decentralized application. So on WeChain, we design a lot of the feature, for example, the fee delegation. So the user, when they use the app, they don't have to hold any cryptocurrency. They can have the developer to pay for the fee or a third-party sponsor to pay for the fee, everything, so that the user can enjoy this onboarding process like a non-blockchain application. For compliance, which is also a really important sector, because we work with enterprises a lot. A lot of the time, they do have the concern because they are hesitating about building things on public blockchain because the regulation or the legislation environment is not that clear. So in that space, we work very actively with some governments, not only in China, but in Europe, like San Marino and Cyprus, to create some more friendly legislation environment, so for the enterprises to be more comfortable to do things in the public blockchain space. So the example I just mentioned is just part of our ecosystem. Now in the WeChain ecosystem, WeChain is really the enabler of the ecosystem. We build and provide whatever it takes for enterprises or for developers to build on the protocol. So we already have working with a lot of enterprises throughout the world, not just in Asia, but in US and in Europe. Yeah, so we feel that through this ecosystem, we can really add value to the real business, and that value is going to transfer to through the token economics. I think this is one of the key differentiator between the public blockchain solutions with the permission blockchain solutions. Because imagine you have 1,000 enterprises running applications on the permission blockchain infrastructure. The only one benefiting from that is the owner or who is running the permission blockchain solutions, because they are getting all the revenue. But on the public blockchain, as you get more and more business application running on it, as long as they are adding value to the business are willing to pay for that because they are consuming resources on the public blockchain. And because they pay for that resources, the one who actually benefiting that through the carefully designed token economics, the one who actually benefiting from that is actually the token holder. So through that process, you can leverage the power of the power of the mass. You can have individuals, you can have a lot of token holders all over the world to actually promote your solution and connect you with the enterprises. A lot of them actually have very powerful connections. So we really believe in the enterprise adoption, and we want to use technology to build the ecosystem so that enterprises are, a lot of time, they're not competing with each other. Like the example I just gave, Deloitte, PwC, and DNVGL, in the traditional way, they are kind of, in a certain way, they are competitors because they are in the same space. But because this is an open ecosystem, they are actually building different things on the same platform. And you can see like the DNVGL is involved in different application because they are on the same platform. It's easier for them to integrate and work with other third party. So yeah, we believe the enterprise adoption on the public ecosystem and public infrastructure, and that's what WeChain is trying to put our effort in. Thank you very much.